What's going on YouTube? This is 903 Fishing. Welcome back to another episode, guys. As you can see, we are back in the storage unit, but I really feel like this episode right here is long overdue. I've had plenty of messages over the past couple of years about what length rod should I be using for this type of crappie fishing, what size reel should I use for this type of crappie fishing. And guess what? Today, that's what we're going to do. I am going to go over all of my ACC crappie stick setups, all the way from a 5/6 rod up to an 11-footer. We're going to go over everything for you guys, just so y'all know what I'm using and what I'm using it for. There are many different types of ways to catch crappie, and part of being able to catch crappie in different scenarios and situations is having that right setup. And I'm also going to say, you don't have to have an ACC crappie sticks, guys. That is what I prefer to use. That is what I like to use. Everybody has their personal preference, but when it does come to certain techniques in catching crappie, you want to be sure that you got the right setup. So if you're ready for today's episode, smash that like button. It really helps out. If you're already subscribed and you're watching this, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate all the support. If you're not subscribed, maybe you ran across this video. Hopefully this video is going to help you in some type of way today and answer some questions that you may have. But if you're not subscribed, smash it. Come join the 903 Fishing family. We would love to have you. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, we're going to start off with shorter length and we're going to work our way to the longer. But we're going to start off with the 5/6 one-piece ACC right here. This rod right here is going to be 3.3 ounces. Its action is medium fast, okay? 5/6 one-piece ACC. As you can see, I have a little slip bobber set up on here with a brim hook, all right? So this rod right here, I primarily use for small pond fishing and things of that nature. I don't use the 5/6 very often, but you have seen it in a couple of previous videos. But this right here, like I said, simple slip cork setup. I have 10-pound braid to a mono leader. You are going to see in this video that I am a braid to a mono leader guy, okay? Braid is what I'm comfortable with. I love throwing braid most of the time. There are situations where I do not throw braid, but we'll go over that when we get to it. Braid to a mono leader to that little brim hook right here. So this is the 5/6 ACC one piece. Let's go ahead and keep climbing up the ladder. And this is going to be the 6-foot ACC crappie sticks two-piece. Now, this is one of those situations where I use mono. A lot of you guys have heard me talk about dock shooting with a one-piece versus a two-piece rod. I prefer to dock shoot with a two-piece rod. You get way more bend and flex in the rod. So this is the 6-foot two-piece rod right here. This is going to be, the weight on this rod is 3.4 ounces. The action is medium fast. We have 6-pound copolymer for dock shooting. That is what I prefer to shoot. And then my dock shooting setup is very simple, guys. A 1/16 ounce jig head with a Slab City jig on it, 903 series, okay? You want a slow fall rate while you're dock shooting. You don't want that jig to fall fast by those crappie. You want it to have a slow fall rate, so that is why I prefer to shoot with the 1/16. Then we have a 1000 series reel here from PISCIFUN, the Viper X 1000. Now, previously, I always dock shot with a 500 series reel. I have totally changed my approach, guys, as far as the reel goes, okay? I always thought I needed a light rod, light reel. I have, this year, recently, I have switched over to dock shooting with a 1000 series reel. I have learned that the line comes off of the spool a lot smoother, and you're able to shoot further up underneath the dock with this 1000 series reel. So once again, 6-foot ACC two-piece. This is my dock shooting rod for crappie right here. Now, we just talked about the 6-foot two-piece. This is going to be the 6-foot one-piece ACC crappie sticks. This is my white bass / hybrid setup. This is what I prefer to use. Now, I don't have the right setup as far as a rig goes. You can put your, your rooster tail or your beetle spin, whatever you're using to catch white bass or hybrids. But this 6-foot one piece is going to be 3.3 ounces. The action is medium fast. It's the same thing as the 6-foot two piece, okay? You're gonna have a little bit more backbone with it. y'all know them white bass and those hybrids can give you a run for their money. And I still also throw 6-pound copolymer for those white bass and those hybrids. So 6-foot 2-piece for dock shooting crappie, 6-foot 1-piece for white bass and hybrids. And then of course I also have a 1000 series reel on the 6-foot 1-piece as well. We talked about our 6-foot rods. This is going to be the 6.6 1-piece right here from ACC Crappie Sticks. Y'all have seen this rod a ton in my creek crappie fishing videos, especially from the kayak and the bank. Now, this is the 6.6 1-piece. The weight on it is going to be 3.5 ounces, and the action is going to be medium fast. Once again, we have a braid to a mono setup right here. This is going to be my jig and bobber setup in the creeks, okay? So we have 10-pound braid to a mono leader, and we have a 1/16 ounce jig head to a Slab City Jig 903 series, of course. I actually prefer not to have such a bigger spool or reel on my 6.6 right here. So I have a Carbon X 500 right here from PISCIFUN. I don't need as much line in the creeks, especially in the kayak. I'm able to, get pretty close to where I'm casting at. So this is going to be my creek crappie fishing setup right here. And the slip cork setup for all of these rigs right here, I no longer use split shots on my slip cork setups. Whether I'm in the creeks or main lake or anything of that nature, I have started using the weighted barrel swivels right here. And I have a older video showing y'all how I rig my slip cork setup. A lot of you guys have watched that video. I need to update that video and show you guys the weighted barrel swivels and all of that stuff. But we're mainly talking about rods in this video, okay? So creek crappie fishing, I'm gonna rock with this 6.6 1-piece right here from ACC Crappie Sticks. And you can also cast a jig with this rod as well. And I have seen people dock shoot, of course, with mono or copolymer, but I've seen people dock shoot with the 6.6. My preference is that 6-foot, like I've already explained. But this is my kayak creek crappie fishing setup and my bank setup right here. Great in the kayak, not too long of a rod, easy to handle, easy to cast. 6.6 1-piece ACC Crappie Sticks right here. So here we have our 7-foot 1-piece from ACC. This rod is becoming not only one of my more popular rods to use, but a lot of other people are starting to rock with this 7-foot 1-piece right here. I have used this rod for one of 3 ways, guys. One, I have used it for slip corking deep brush piles on the main lake. Even though it has that light tip on it, I'm going to tell you guys right now, very, very light tip. If you do not use this rod correctly, you will break the tip off of this rod, okay? You're going to need to let more line out if you're going to boat flip crappie with it, especially some big old crappie. You're going to need just to let out a little bit more line. It doesn't have quite the tip of the 8-footer, which we're about to go over here in a little bit. And I have also started to use this for my big copper nose bluegill fishing setup right here, guys. The only difference right here, of course, hey, braid to a mono leader. I have a 2/0 Aberdeen crappie hook right here for live minnows, but the only difference that you would do is put that brim hook on here, that number 4 plain shank from Eagle Claw. And the reason why I have switched over from the 6.6 1-piece rod while slip corking these big old copper nose is I have found out that I find my bigger bluegill spawning in, 8 to 14 feet of water. When that happens, you have your bobber stop right here. When you're fishing that deep, that bobber stop has to go into the reel. So I am going to be using a 1000 series reel with this setup as well. But when that bobber stop goes into the reel, it has to come out in order for that cricket or minnow to get as deep as you want it to get. The 7-foot 1-piece does not have the microwave eye. It just has an open eye right here. So guess what? That bobber stop does not get hung up on that microwave eye like it does on the 6.6, okay? So 7-foot 1-piece rod, like I said, y'all, if you get this rod, you will not be disappointed, but it has quickly become one of my favorite ACC crappie sticks. I almost forgot to mention the specs on this rod. Let's go over those real quick. This is going to be a 4.2 ounce. The action on it is medium light with a fast tip. That is exactly what it says right here on the rod. Medium light with that fast tip. So guys, remember, if you're going to use this 7-footer, even if you're boat flipping, big bluegill, anything of that nature, big crappie, make sure you leave a little bit more line out so you can have a little bit of leverage to flip whatever fish that you're flipping. All right, 7-foot one piece right here. We're going to talk about the 8-foot super grip. I know I'm probably going to have comments saying, well, you skipped the 7.6. ACC does make a 7'6" rod. However, I have just not used it very much. I don't really use it in my videos, but basically everything I'm going over this 8-footer with, you can also use for that 7.6 rod as well. So this 8-foot rod, we're going to start off with the specs on it is going to be 8-foot rod, guys, 2-piece. This is going to be 4.3 ounces. The action on it is medium fast. Now, if y'all have been around the channel, y'all know that I love me an 8-foot ACC crappie sticks. This rod right here, I have it rigged up for a slip cork setup, okay? I mainly use this rod for deep brush piles out on the main lake. But the thing about this 8-foot ACC, guys, it is very, very versatile, okay? If you can't afford that many rods or you just don't have that many rods, you can get one of these 8-footers and you can slip cork with it, cast with it, and vertical jig with this 8-foot super grip right here from ACC. So this is the setup that I use for deep brush on the main lake. Once again, braid, 10-pound braid to a mono leader. And of course we have the Como slip corks that I haven't really went over. It doesn't have to be a Como slip cork, whatever type of slip cork that you like. Now, when I'm fishing deep, guys, on the main lake, I want that minnow or jig to get down there as quickly as possible. So these other setups that I've been using, most of the time you're not fishing as deep in the creeks and things like that. So on this setup, I have a 1/4 ounce weighted barrel swivel here, okay? 1/4 ounce weighted barrel swivel. And this one is set up for minnows, so 2/0 Aberdeen crappie hook, all right? This right here, guys, I'm telling you, one of the most versatile ACC crappie sticks out there. You could do a lot of things with it. And of course, I have a Carbon X 1000 size reel paired with this setup right here. This setup is awesome. All right, you're going to be able to do a lot of things with it and catch a lot of fish a lot of different ways. So now we're going to jump from an 8-foot rod to a 10-foot rod, okay? Now, 10-foot ACC crappie sticks. This is going to be more for your vertical jigging, okay? I've seen people, you know, slip cork with these at spillways and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that. The 10-foot ACC, let's go over the specs real quick. 10-foot rod, this is going to be a 2-piece rod. The weight on it is 4.8 ounces and the action on it is medium, okay? Good backbone on this 10-foot rod. I have it broke down into 2 pieces right now. I don't want to be hitting stuff with it as I'm talking about it. I have the sword from PISCIFUN. This is going to be a trout fishing reel, okay? The 3/4 right here. Guys, this is my wading for crappie setup right here, okay? 10-foot rod to wade fish for crappie, you know, being able to get off deep up in that buck brush, and it's light as well. I mean, guys, this whole setup right here, like I just said, the weight on this rod is 4.8 ounces plus the reel, not very much over 5 ounces that you're holding, okay? Very light, very light. And of course, I have a hand-tied jig on there. Don't know if you'll be able to see that, but hand-tied jig. I use this rod for one of 2 ways, guys. Of course, if I'm vertical jigging, I'm not going to have the trout reel on here, but the 10-foot ACC, I have had videos where I vertical jig with it. And like I said, for the most part, this setup right here, the 10-footer, is going to be for my waiting for crappie trips right here. Now, last but definitely not least, guys, we have the 11-foot ACC crappie sticks right here. And the specs on this joker are, the weight's going to be 4.8 ounces and the action on it is medium. I strictly vertical jig with this rod right here, okay? If I'm vertical jigging from the bank and I'm vertical jigging trees that have fallen off in the creek. This is also my live scope rod. Of course, guys, I don't run live scope on my boat, but if I'm fishing a tournament on a buddy's boat or something like that, I'm going to be using this 11 footer right here. And y'all have also seen me vertical jigging off of the sunken bridges. That is going to be this 11 footer. I have this one paired with a Viper X 1000 from PISCIFUN, and I run straight braid, okay? Same thing with the 10 footer that I forgot to mention. I run straight braid while I'm vertical jigging or waiting for crappie. 11 footer right here, straight braid to a, you know, any type of setup that you want. You can run plastics or run a hand tie, something like that, guys. So 11 footer. This was actually the very first ACC crappie sticks that I ever owned, was the 11 foot super grip. And this also is a great rod. Well, there you have it, guys. Those are my setups that I use in all of my videos. Like I said, just depending on the technique that you're using, how you're catching these crappie or other types of species of fish. Remember, guys, ACC crappie sticks can be used to catch multiple species. Y'all see me use them all the time. And remember, you don't have to have an ACC. I don't want y'all thinking you have to have an ACC crappie sticks for these setups to work. You can use these setups on any type of crappie fishing rod, whatever your preference is, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video. If you have any questions about anything that you saw in this video, be sure to drop me a comment down. I try to like or heart every single comment and reply back to questions as well. So leave me a comment if you have any questions, guys. If you did enjoy this video, smash that like button. It really helps out the channel. And you know what? Like I said, I really believe that this episode is really overdue. I've been meaning to do this one for a while now. Like I said, all the questions that I get in my inbox and emails, you know, maybe if, you know, this episode right here comes out, hopefully it can answer some of y'all's questions. If you're already subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. God bless you. Y'all know I wouldn't be doing any of this without you guys. Thank y'all for all the support. Commenting, liking, sharing really means a lot to me. If you're not subscribed, you love you some crappie fishing, hit that subscribe button. Come join the family. Like always, like, comment, and subscribe to 903 Fishing. Y'all have a great day. God bless.